So just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of who I am, who will be talking to you today. This is me up here in the right-hand corner, and yes, that is a new picture, so it is not something that I have lost the hair just recently. It's been going on for a long time, and that's just the way it is. Anyway, I've been involved in this industry for over 25 years. I have expertise in a variety of the different lab information systems in the world, such as LIMS, ELN, CDS, and the rest of the alphabet soup of systems. I've had the privilege and opportunity to work in a variety of different industry spaces, including pharma, biotech, and the ones you see listed there. I've also had the privilege of working in a variety of different laboratories and type of environments, so that I've gained a great broad expertise and knowledge base of how laboratories work. And this goes for both R&D laboratories, QC laboratories, contract research laboratories, and the like. Along the way, I've picked up tremendous amounts of information on IT issues, networks, database systems, all kind of things. And back in the old days, I actually got a doctorate in chemistry at Duke University. So when you go through this, as I go through this presentation, and you're writing down questions for later on, you should feel free to comfortable to be able to ask me on a variety of different topics questions. So that being said, this is where we are today. The getting to phase 2 of your LIMS project, and here's the agenda. We're going to take a few seconds in the beginning just to talk about what IT project success and failure rates are all about. I'm sure you're familiar with this information, but it's always shocking to get it told you yet again. We're going to get some level setting done to talk about approach versus methodology, what I mean by an implementation approach versus an implementation methodology. We'll take a look at the phased implementation approach and its pros and cons. Then we'll talk about why people don't get to phase 2 or phase 3 or phase N along the way. And then we'll talk about strategies how to get to that phases and subsequent phases. Do a little summary. We'll save time at the end for questions and answers. So in 2005, an organization called the Standish Group did a fairly famous, I guess now famous, survey and report under the research to try and figure out how projects do in the world. And it turns out that less than 29% of all projects are actually successful. Now, they actually define success in the classic sense of the word, which is, well, at least for projects, which is on time, on budget, and satisfying the requirements as stated in the beginning. We at CSols actually use a different definition. We do include those 3 factors, on time, on budget, and meeting requirements, but we also include things like whether the system actually gets utilized, whether people adopt the system, whether the legacy systems that you had in place were actually retired and not used anymore. So if you go on our definitions, probably the numbers would be even worse, because as it is, which is a standard definition, it's less than 29% of all projects are successful. So that's 30%, right, is successful. Some of them are mildly, sort of partially successful, and 19% of them are outright failures, right? If you add in the factors that CSols uses when we talk about the success of a informatics project, those numbers actually get worse a little bit, because it is hard to be able to get that adoption. We'll talk about that along the way here. So at the end of the day, what it really means is that it's not easy to do these projects. So how do you actually provide yourself with a better opportunity for success? Well, there's always these things called industry best practices. What are they? For you to be successful in a LIMS project or an informatics project, a lot of it has to do with project planning. Did you actually set up your plan properly? Did you look at the road map that you're going to do? Did you figure out what the actual needs and requirements are and just do a full design of your solution, right? Or what you're actually planning on going forward with as time goes on. The governance of the project. We've talked about this in other presentations within CSols, and you can look around the website. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. We've talked about what the structure should be for governance of a LIMS project, and what the different processes you need to make sure you establish in order to have success. But all that governance, the communication plans, the escalation plans, the structures, the sponsors, the LIMS team, all those things that are part of project governance are also very important to be put in place and kept up to date as you go through your project in order to have success. Another key factor in industry best practice is to use subject matter experts, or SMEs, to leverage their specialized knowledge where you need it, when you need it, during the course of your informatics project. Now, where you get those subject matter experts is a matter of opinion, debate, and availability, really. They could be internal, they could be external third-party consultants, they could be from a consultancy organization such as ourselves. It could be from the vendor. It could be from a lot of different sources. So where you get them and how you get them is a whole other story, but it is important to actually have people who are subject matter experts to be able to leverage their knowledge to be able to improve your chances of success.